Today's Kirtan is in Bhairavi Raag, and it's based on a beautiful song called Shyamasundara, or the Beautiful Dark One. Shyamasundara Madana Arohana Jago Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Together.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shyama Sundara Madana Mohana Jago Mure Lala. Shyama Sundara
Madana Mohana
Jago Mure Lala. Shyama Sundara,
Shyama Sundara,
Shyama Sundara Madana Mohana Jago Mure Lal.
Haribol! Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us on Zoom, Ivy. We love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those of you on Facebook or YouTube, you can always join us as well. Just send us an email. Let me share with you that email on the screen. It's krishnakirtanmusic@gmail.com. And that's on the screen. Email us with your first name and last name and why would you like to join us so that we know you are a real person and not a robot.
And also, it's sort of a sacred space on Zoom. We get to see you, you get to see us, and then we hang out afterwards and we can go over any questions about the rag or the pastimes, anything like that.
And today we're doing Shyamasundara melody in Bhairavi Raag.
This beautiful, especially with the tishram jati or the 3/4, the sort of waltzing, it can be quite mesmerizing and intoxicating. I find it musically. I find that waltz rhythm very intoxicating, and so as you might have noticed, the rhythm here was in that 3/4 waltz, and we'll go over in a little while how to play along to that. And could I just ask the tanpura be turned down just a little? Sure. I always ask for it to be super loud, and then at some point I realize, oh my gosh, it's too loud for me. So today's rag is Bhairavi, and we've done this rag before, but we've done different melodies or different compositions in this rag. So if it sounds familiar to you, the name of the rag, that's because we have gone over this one before. And we will many, many times, because Bhairavi is one of those rags that has many, many compositions, many well-loved compositions. So this particular rag is an early morning rag. It is the goddess version, or the goddess rag to the god rag of Bhairav, which is another name for Shiva, and Bhairavi is another name for Parvati, Mahakali, Adi Shakti, Shiva Shakti. And we have a picture of her goddess form here. And so, like all the different deities, they have different mounts. So Shiva rides a Nandi, the bull, right? And Ganesh rides a mouse. But Bhairavi, her mount is a lotus. And she lives on Kailash. And she is the feminine aspect, and in personified form, she's the partner of Shiva or Bhairav. And her rag namesake is both a tat or a scale and also a rag. So it is the signature rag of its scale. In Western music, it is considered similar to Phrygian, which is one of the church modes. And going back to the classical Indian format, we talk about different classifications. So one of the classifications is that its jati is sampurna sampurna. So that just means how many notes are featured on the aro, or the going up, and how many notes are featured on the avro, or coming down. So in this particular rag, 7 notes are featured going up and 7 notes are featured coming down. And actually behind us in the class we have a picture of the Bhairavi yantra. So Bhairavi has her own Bij mantra, and I don't know it off by heart, but she has her own Bij mantra, and a yantra is the visual representation of a mantra. So this is her sacred yantra. So the jati of Bhairavi Raag is Sampurna Sampurna, and the swaras, or the notes, sa is always expressed in its natural form. It doesn't have a flat, it doesn't have a sharp. Sa is just sa, it's your root note. It's called immovable, and although your sa may be different to someone else's sa, once you have your sa, you don't have 3 different sas. Your sa is immovable in a scale. And pa is also immovable. The other notes, ma is expressed naturally, but the other notes, re, ga, da, and ni, in Bhairavi are expressed as komal or flat. So we can go over that right now.
Let's sing together.
Sa, re, ga, ma, pa. So there's some oscillating on re and da. Let's do it again. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, sa, ni, na, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Let's do akar or a. Some other aspects of Bhairavi is that it's Vishranti stuns, or it's stoppable notes, the notes that you can hang out on, take a breath, kind of, especially with alaps or with tans, you can actually rest on these notes. So on the aro, going up, those notes that we can rest on are sa, ma, pa. So sa, re, ga, ma, ma, ga, re, ma, ma, pa, the vadi, or the most prominent note, is ma, and the samvadi is sa. So sa, ma, and pa are quite important in this rag. You can hang out there. And then also, well, what is the time of day for Bhairavi? And Bhairavi is considered a morning rag. Most scholars say that Bhairavi is in the first prahar of the day. I've seen it written where it's in the second prahar, like late morning, but that is in the minority. I've seen it written like that. So then we come to prahars. So prahars are, they are portions of the day. So daytime is divided into 4 prahars, and nighttime is divided into 4 prahars. Now, if you live somewhere close to the equator, your daytime prahars and your nighttime prahars might be quite similar in length. You might have 6 to 9 a.m., 9 a.m. to 12, 12 to 3, 3 to 6, those are the days. And then you might have 6 to 9 p.m., 9 p.m. to midnight, midnight to 3 a.m., 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. as your nighttime prahars. But if you lived in Sweden, summertime, your daytime praharas would be larger, and your evening nighttime praharas would be quite shorter. So it is very much in relation to the actual experience of daytime in your geographical location. Which leads to another thing, which is in Vaishnav circles, it's considered that the first prahar starts at the Brahma Muhurta hour, which is an hour, technically it is an hour and 36 minutes prior to sunrise, where Venus can be seen in the sky. And this is Brahma Muhurta hour, means the time of the Creator, and it's considered to be very surcharged with spiritual Shakti. So it's a good time for meditation, a good time for Hatha Yoga, a good time for Japa meditation, a good time for bhajan. And so some circles start the first prahara of the day an hour and 36 minutes prior to sunrise. So Bhairavi would be in that category as the first rag of the day. As far as when Bhairavi first made its appearance, it is an ancient rag, much like Bhairav, and I haven't discovered much folklore surrounding the origins of Bhairavi, but Bhairav was considered Adi Rag, or the first rag, and it was the first rag that came out of Lord Shiva's mouth. So Bhairavi is also an ancient rag, and not one of the latter day rags like Kafi. And interestingly, in the Carnatic school of music in South India and in the Hindustani school of music in North India, Bhairavi is quite different. So Bhairavi in Hindustani music is more like Todi in Carnatic, and I happen to have studied and will be a lifelong student of Hindustani. So there are some differences between North and South. Let's see what else about Bhairavi. Oh, the most important thing of all, the rasas. What is the taste of Bhairavi? So the taste of Bhairavi is Karuna, or compassion, and also Bhakti, or devotion. And it can have overtones of sadness, but not always. And it, as I said, it is morning rag, but in classical concerts, they often finish with Bhairavi. So even though it's an early morning rag, it is also a rag that people hear all the time because it is used to close classical concerts. So then this actual melody itself is taken from a brandish, or a song that is about Shyamasundara, Marana Mohana. So Shyama is black, and it's an interesting kind of black. It's a bluish black, like when you look at a really pregnant rain cloud and you go, ooh, that's sort of bluish black. Or so I've actually seen people from actually the African continent that are so dark that there's like a silver hue. And so it's that beautiful kind of, there's the color, but then there's the hue of the color. And so I've seen that beautiful separation of color and hue even in, mere mortals. So Krishna apparently has this bluish hue. He's dark and he has almost a bluish hue. And so he's known as Shyam. It's a descriptive term. Sundara means beautiful, so the beautiful black one. And he is Madana Mohana. So Madana is Cupid, or the demigod of falling in love, But even Cupid, who is so enchanting, is enchanted by Madana Mohan. So Krishna is Madana Mohan, the one who enchants even Cupid. He's so beautiful. But interestingly, Radha, the goddess of love, is Madana Mohan Mohini. So Krishna's very enchanting and enchants Cupid, but the goddess of love, Radha, enchants the god of love. She is Madana Mohan Mohini. So Shyamasundara Madana Mohana Jago More Lal. So wake up, my darling, my affectionate, my term of affectionate Lal, And so it also the song goes on and talks about him being Mohana Murali Wala. So he's the enchanting flute player. So Krishna's music comes into your ears and kind of makes you very bewildered. And so in the scriptures, in various texts, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, even Chaitanya Charitamrita, this concept of the beauty of Krishna is described. And the name itself, Krishna, is a descriptive term meaning all attractive. So far be it for me to paraphrase. Let me read a couple of notes about God's beauty. So often you see Krishna, he's very ornamented, like he's wearing jewels and mukuts and crowns and different things. But so ornaments caress Krishna's body. But the body of Krishna, the transcendental spiritual body of Krishna, is so beautiful that it beautifies the ornaments he wears. Therefore, Krishna's body is said to be the ornament of the ornaments. Enhancing the wonderful beauty of Krishna is his three-curved style of standing, so his Tribhanga form. It's funny when you see girls taking selfies, they always put one leg in front and they sort of they do this. So in a way, people when they're taking selfies, they sort of try to hit that Tribhangi form, unknowingly knowing that is how to beautify your physical form. So Krishna naturally stands in that sort of selfie pose. He's the original selfie. Above all these beautiful features, Krishna's eyes dance and move obliquely, acting like arrows to pierce the minds of Srimati Radharani and the gopis. When the arrow succeeds in hitting its target, their minds become agitated. One who is attracted by the beauty of God is no longer attracted by the beauty of mundane material nature, although it doesn't minimize its beauty. So what it's saying is, once you see the beauty of God, you can see that material beauty is less. It doesn't mean that material beauty is now somehow not beautiful. It just means that you get to see in relation how much more stunning God is. And let me see, is there one more? Oh, this is nice. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, meaning the form of God, is the reservoir of all beauty. Actually, Rama means a reservoir of all pleasure. So God is the reservoir of all beauty. All beautiful things emanate. And his personal form is so attractive that it steals the eyes away from their objects, all other objects, which then can seem devoid of beauty in comparison. When Krishna was on the earth, he attracted the eyes of everyone. When he spoke, his words attracted the minds of all who remembered them. And by seeing the footsteps of Krishna, people became attracted to him. so you could actually see his footprints, and that would evoke Bhakti and Sringara, or divine love. So this song was about Shyamasundara. So I thought, why not grab a couple of pictures of some beautiful Shyamasundara deities from around the world. So this particular picture that we're looking at now is Radha Shyamasundara from New Ramanreti, which is in Alachua, which is one of the largest communities of Bhakti yogis in the world. So they have their own Sri Sri Radha Shyamasundara deities. And who else have we got? And keep going to the next one, just so I can be sure. So there's also Sri Sri Radha Shyamasundara in Krishna Balaram Mandir in Vrindavan. So as you walk into the grounds, you have, I think there's another picture of the two of them. You have Krishna Balaram in the middle, and then you have Sri Sri Radha Shyamasundara to the right and Gauranitai to the left, and in the front is Prabhupada Samadhi Mandir. And then we have one more special deity, and this particular deity was manifest from Radharani's heart. It's very unique, and that's also from Alachua. He's very beautiful, Krishna Alachua. This very unique deity is Shyamasundara, and he has his own temple in Vrindavan, in the village of Vrindavan, or the city now, and he's very unique. He manifested to Krishna Das, Dukhi Krishna Das, and because this lovely yogi would sweep, he was given the service of sweeping the area where the Rasa Leela takes place, where the gopis and Krishna in his many multiplied forms, so everyone is partner dancing, and this happens in the night time. And during the day, Dukhi Krishna Das was cleaning this area, and he found this ankle bell, and he knew it was very special. So anyway, it turns out that it was Radharani's ankle bell, and she came and gave him her darshan, and he wanted to always have the vision of her, and she gifted him this deity of Shyamasundara. And
so beautiful.
He's so unique and so beautiful. And he has a special tilak as well, which is Radharani's lotus feet. He's so beautiful. He's so interesting looking, this deity. And so, as we sing this song, we can meditate on the beauty of God and inviting that vision into our mind, and also inviting, because God is not different from his name, his multiple, innumerable names, and so as we sing the mantra, we are inviting God onto our tongue, to dance on our tongues. And in the mood of Bhairavi Raag, which is full of bhakti and full of compassion, we can now sing the kirtan again with this in our mind. But before we do, we just want to go over the tala. So if you're playing karatalas at home, it is, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, open to close, open to close, 1, 2, 3, open to close, open, close, open. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
So 2 is silent. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
And they taught you, because Joaquin went to college for music, and they taught you how to conduct.
Yes.
And this rhythm is in a triangle. So you want to show them?
It would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Imagine a triangle.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Chin, chin.
Hare
Chin, chin.
Krishna,
Chin, chin.
Hare Krishna, And if you're on mrdanga, a very simple one is Bengali ektal. So gattira gatti tatta, gattira gatti tatta, gattira gatti tatta, gattira gatti tatta. If you want to get a little more complicated, you could do just ektal. Din din dage terketa tu na na katta dage terketa din na na din din dage terketa tu na na katta dage terketa din na na. So please sing along, play along, because the more who join in, the more it's a maha kirtan.
Yes.
Shyama Sundara Madana Mohana Jago Murelal Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Shyama Sundara Madana Mohana Jago Murelal.
Shyama Sundara Madana Mohana Jago
Murelal. Shyama Sundara Madana Mohana Jago Murelal. Shyama Sundara
Madana Mohana Jago Murela.
Shyama Sundara,
Masundara,
Shyama Sundara, Madana Mohana Jago Murela.
Haribol! So nice to see you on Zoom. Thank you for joining us live, and for those of you listening on Facebook and YouTube, thank you. It's a pleasure to share Kirtan with you all.
And again, as Joaquin mentioned, if you want to join our kind of sacred get-together on Zoom, you can email us at krishnakirtanmusic@gmail.com.
Include your first name, last name, and the reason why you would like to join in. Yes. Just so we make sure you are not a robot.
Okay, and a few days ago, I think 3 days ago now, was a sort of a... We like to kind of point out when somebody special had their appearance or disappearance, or sometimes there's a festival. So a few days ago was the appearance of Srivas Thakur, and he's important to this art of Kirtan because in the 15th century, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first started this congregational chanting movement where we all get together and we sing together and, you know, we chant and dance and we go crazy. Srivas Thakur was, it was in his home that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first started having his tumultuous kirtan get-togethers. And the neighbors, they were so loud that the neighbors were complaining, and they complained to the local authorities, who at the time was the Chandkazi. And a couple of representatives actually came over and broke a couple of the mrdangas, like, you guys, you're partying too hard and you got to keep it down. This is a residential neighborhood, you know. And so Chaitanya went with his kirtan party to the Chandkazi's house, and he just kind of explained what he was doing, and they had a really great conversation about it. And the Chandkazi was like, oh gosh, I'm really sorry. I'm totally cool with what you're doing. I love it. And from now on, I guarantee you, me, and as long as my dynasty continues, nobody from my dynasty will ever interrupt your kirtans again. Carry on. Yes, because I think he understood it was beautiful and devotional. And so Srivas Thakur is also an interesting character. He is on the right-hand side of the Panchatattva Fab Five, we like to say. So Chaitanya is in the middle, and then we have Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita, and so, and we have Gadadhara, and we have Srivas Thakur. So, as we often say, when God comes down, when there is an avatar when coming down, he brings his associates with him. So he brings his crew with him, right? And so these associates of Chaitanya, they also have their divine aspect. So Nityananda is a incarnation of Balaram. Advaita is Mahavishnu. Gadadhara is Radharani, and they're all divine aspects. But Srivas is a Jiva Tattva. He is just individual spirit soul. He's not an avatar, but he's so integral to the movement of Kirtan that he is part of the Pancha Tattva, Panch meaning five, so the Pancha Tattva. And so just like there was a Bhairavi beach mantra, there is a Pancha Tattva mantra, which is, you may have heard it, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavinda. So Srivas is this Srivas Thakur. And it's saying even with chanting the Maha mantra and different mantras, you know, there are some do's and don'ts, but Chaitanya and the spirit of Kirtan is so welcoming, so forgiving, so embracing, that when you chant the Panchatattva mantra, there's no worry about error or doing it incorrectly, and it sort of paves the nice way for all the other mantras that you chant. So it's a nice thing to start with before chanting other mantras, because you get the mercy, you know, you get the Karuna, you get the blessing. And so it was his appearance day a couple of days ago, and just want to give a shout out to Srivas Thakur.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, happy appearance day. And he also has a divine character, though he is an incarnation of Narada Muni, the wandering minstrel who travels around the universe's inspiring love of God. But he's individual spirit soul. And so that wraps up this week's Kirtans.
Yes, and once again, I want to invite you all to listen to all of the Kirtans we've been recording. They are available for free on youtube.com/c/Krishna Kirtan Music. We are on a goal to record 108 different versions of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is number 18, and I want you all to enjoy it. They all have different energies that you can
different
enjoy.
moods. Yeah, there's a mood for every occasion.
Yes, it's so beautiful. And also, if you would like to support what we do and this quest to record 108 versions of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we welcome your support at paypal.me/Krishna Kirtan Music and patreon.com/Krishna Kirtan Music. On paypal.me, you can support us with any amount of your choice, and on patreon.com there are different recurring amounts depending on also what would you like to learn, because we also offer classes and so on. So it's more evolved. So you can check them out.
And in these coming weeks, we're going to be on the road for a little while. So while we're on the road, we'll be having some guest kirtaneers when we can. So that will be a nice treat. There might be a slightly different format. What we may lack in audio, in visuals, we might make up for with some guest kirtaneers
That you're
as
gonna
well.
meet. Yes, that is gonna be beautiful. So that is not next week, but the one after.
The one after.
In 2 weeks from now.
And so with all daylight savings forwards and back and everything, just know Wednesday 7 p.m. Sydney time or Wednesday 7 p.m. Los Angeles time, whatever that time is in your part of the world, please tune in. We love to have you, and thank you for joining.
And sing with you. Yes, thank you so much for joining us. And for you, my friends on Zoom, please stick around. And we are going to say goodbye to you on YouTube and Facebook. And if you like to join us on Zoom, we'll go over questions that you may have about this class, pastimes, and the raga that we love to do in life.
A little bit more personal.
Yes. Thank you. Haribol, Hare Krishna, Radhe